Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to give you a tour of Elsie, which is my boat. She's a 19-foot Dawncraft dandy. What I thought I'd do is, because she's so small and it wouldn't take very long to show you her, I thought I'd mix in a little bit of history about Dawncraft and give you an idiot's guide to this type of boat. The idiot being me, and I'm guiding you with what I've been told and what I've picked up along the way. If I get anything wrong or there's anything you want to add, please do so in the comments, and let's get started. So my boat is a GRP, which is glass reinforced plastic, or better known as fiberglass, but they're affectionately known on canals as yogurt pots. And she has a cathedral hull, unlike the pointy ones which a lot of the canal boats have. The cathedral hull is basically made up of sponsons, which make it kind of look like a trimaran. The idea being that they sit quite high in the water, very good for powering through the water, which you don't tend to do on a canal. But what it does mean is that it sits nice and high on canals that can sometimes be shallow, like this one. This is the guts of the engine, which is where the engine sits. It's a Honda. I'll put down the model in the description. And then we have the battery bay, the petrol tank, and the gas canister over this side. Controls for it are here, so that moves the boat forward, and reverse, and the steering wheel. No brake pedal. That took a bit of getting used to. So when you bought a Dawncraft GRP, they were usually, or you had the choice. You could either buy one that you fitted out yourself, or you could have one that was preset. When they first started out, I believe that they had a set way of doing it, but then as boats got more popular, they offered more choices. So this particular one has a little galley which has a cooker and a sink and a couple of cupboards. And then just the other side of that, just by the door out into the cabin, it has two little areas which you can either use for storage, or one of their selling points was that it could actually berth up to 4 people with small adults or children sleeping down under the hull, which I don't know whether I'd particularly fancy, but there we are. So the front of it, the main seating area, is there, and that very easily and very quickly converts into a 2-berth. You could actually get 3 people on there if you were particularly friendly, but yeah, it's supposed to be a 2-berth plus 2 really. So it's got nice big windows, so plenty of light can go in. Keeps the main cabin nice and airy. It has a toilet area, which is there, and in true YouTube boat fashion, I will do a 3-part discussion, probably 90 minutes each, on toilets on cabin cruisers. It doesn't interest me. It's a toilet, you know what it does, choose what you want, get on with it, it's fine. I'm not going to go into that. I shut the door. Under here is that area I was telling you about, where they reckon you could sleep. Best it up with that. I think I'll give that one a miss. So Elsie does have solar power. So my controls are here. I don't use a lot of power, to be fair. I mean, the only real thing I use it for is I got a little cool box. Let's see with the warmth in here. I do get a little bit geeky when I find a new interest. So I did find an article online about the makers of this particular type of boat. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below for you to have a look at. The Dawncraft story basically starts in the mid-50s when George bought a London launcher called the Laughing Waters, and he spent a couple of years doing it up and then took it up the Canal. It was a bit of a struggle apparently because it was 4 inches wider than the locks on the Llangollen, so he had a bit of a struggle with that. Shortly after, he realised that there was an opportunity to help other people enjoy the canal. So he found a supplier for hulls, bought a property in Kimber on the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, and started building boats. He carried on building wooden hulled boats until the early 60s, and then eventually they went from wooden hull to a wooden hull and fiberglass cabin, and then later on they offered fiberglass boats. They had to go to East Germany to collect the guns for making the fiberglass, and they were a bit problematic because they had a tendency to clog up, so they had to learn how to clean them correctly to get the best out of them. The Dandy was introduced in 1972, which is what my boat is. It said that his family, George's family, laid on the floor so that he could talk around to find the best fit for everything he needed. In 1975 they were working from 5 sites, employing 60 people, and produced 400 boats, 60% of which were exported to places like France and Holland. If you look to buy a GRP these days, you'll see that many of them are still from the 60s and 70s. Just shows how good their quality was. They continued to add boats to their range for many years to come, and then unfortunately the cost of materials went up, and unfortunately they went into liquidation a couple of years later. The Dawncraft themselves continued to live on because people bought up the mouldings for them and the plans for it, and they continued to be produced until the mid to late 80s. So it's quite a sad story that they were, initially the people that designed and built GRP cruisers, but at the same time it's nice that the designs went to live on after their demise. Quite an interesting story, I think. I'll leave the document I got the details from below. It was very interesting. A lot of facts and figures in there, which aren't my strong point, which is why I've not tried to tell you about them, because I'll probably get it wrong. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out the document with all the details about Dawncraft in the description, and give the video a like and a comment, and I'd love to hear about your Dawncraft, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care, bye now.